Good afternoon. My name is Gary Destephano, and I work for Veterans Golf Course in Springfield. Joining me in a little while is going to be my son Peter, who works for Franconia Golf Course. I would also like to recognize Ryan Hall, who's the PGA professional that manages both Franconia and Veterans Golf Course, and Ed Palumba, who is the assistant pro at Veterans, and Chris Miracle, who is the assistant pro at Franconia. And right now, due to COVID-19, all the golf courses are closed in Massachusetts, and we're hoping in a couple of weeks that they will open for the recreational golfer to come out and play. But until that happens, we've all been cooped up in our houses. What I like to do is come out and practice my chipping, which can sometimes be one of the more difficult parts of the game. You can hit the ball great off the tee, hit a good second shot, but when it comes to chipping and putting it on the putting surface, sometimes it's a challenge for the recreational golfer, as well as it is for me. So before we get into the actual chipping, we're going to talk about alignment. And Ed Palumba gave me a really good pointer last year that I've been using, that sometimes the average or recreational golfer, I should say, on the weekends forgets to do. And you can use this from tee to green. So for example, the ball is here, my target is there where the flag is, and I'm about 20 yards away from the flag. What he recommends is to get behind the ball and to get a line, a visual line of where I'm actually trying to hit it towards. So he says to focus on a mark about 1.5 feet in front of the ball. So when I stand behind for a couple seconds, I visualize, and then when I go to square my feet, and if you've noticed, I have a tool to help me during my practice session to make sure my feet and my shoulders are square when I address the ball. I don't want to be off this way, because if I'm off this way, I'm going to hit it to the right. I don't want my feet to be off this way, because if I do, I'm going to hit it to the left. So by getting behind and getting a line, and if I can hit the ball over that line, I have a pretty good idea that it's going straight. So what I do for this practice session is I put a tee into the ground so I don't have to stand behind the ball every single time. And now I know when I hit the ball over that tee that it's going to go straight and towards my target. And then I square my feet with my practice tool. I'm not off one way or the other. And then I can address the ball and make my chip. So this little standing behind the ball is a great tip. Again, you can use it from the tee all the way to the green. Often guys, and men and women, boys and girls, when they get on the green, they mark where the ball is, and then they get behind, they look for the putt. Well, you can do that for every shot. And you certainly can, I played with friends of mine, and I've watched golfers since working at Veterans get on the first tee, and they get up and they hit a great straight drive, but because they're pointed off a little bit, it goes right or goes left. And they can't figure out why. Well, how did that happen? And then standing back from them, I'm saying, well, you were pointed that way. That's why it went that way. So good little tip to get your visual behind the ball for 2 seconds. Now I know which way I'm going to go. So the chipping, which is a tricky part of the game. I've always bent my wrists and did my chip like that. And Chris Miracle gave a good pointer when he was watching me chip one day. He said, instead of doing that, use the pendulum motion like you would do when you're putting. When you're putting and you're on the green, you don't bend your wrists. So he said, try that with chipping. And I'm not bending them, I'm keeping them locked. And the club face, when it comes back to the ball on contact, will be square. It doesn't have to, when you bend your wrists, it has to come back and get square. This way it stays square all the time. Another really good pointer, and I've been practicing it, I've been working on it, and my chips, I have to say, Sometimes not always the right distance, but the direction. And that's what I work on when I come and practice out in my yard. Which direction am I chipping it to? So I'm going to do one right now. I've already made my mark, so I know where I am. I square my feet to my practice tool, and then I'm going to just chip. And it went pretty straight. My finish is usually knee high, sometimes chest high if it's a little further, with my club facing up. That chip went pretty straight. So same thing, I make my mark. I have it with the tee, so I know the ball is there. But if the tee wasn't there, and I'm out on the course, then I focus on this mark right here. Okay, I line it up. I want to hit it over that mark. I square my feet and my shoulders. And I chip, nice easy motion. There it is. So those are a couple little pointers that have helped me, the recreational golfer, improve my game. The short game is where you score. If you go back and you look at your scorecard after 18 holes and you add up your score and you see where you've got bogey, double bogey, sometimes a triple bogey, and in your mind, if you said, if I only chipped better and got up on the putting surface sooner, I could cut maybe 8 to 10 strokes easily off my score. So as soon as I started chipping straighter, certainly with more accuracy, getting behind the ball and every single shot, I've actually hit the ball straighter, which has allowed me to score better, which is what everybody wants to do, is lower your scores. Recreational golfer, on the weekend golfer or during the week, whether it's league play or just going out and having some fun, everybody wants to score better. A little strong, but the direction was good, and I hope my finish. So a couple little great pointers from Franconia and veterans, the teaching pros there. When the courses do open, please take advantage of Ryan Hall, Chris Miracle, and Ed Palumba, because they do one-on-one lessons, which allows you to work on your game. My son Peter, in 2019, played on the Holyoke Community College golf team, which won their sectionals, along with another East Meadow resident, Kyle Richter. Got a tip from Chris Miracle. Certain aspects of it, they do everything from tee to green. They're great professional, teaching professionals, which will help you. And even if you're just taking up the sport, or you're a golfer that's golfs a lot and just wants to sharpen up their skills, they're there for you, so reach out to them. I'd like to thank LCAT today, Don Mackey, who's here filming this, and Donna Prather, our rec director, who is out here watching. I know everybody's been bottled up. These are very uncertain times. There's been a lot of anxiety of when we're going back to work, when something like recreational sports or sports in general are going to open up. We're hoping pretty soon. But if we can get out in the fresh air on a beautiful day like today is, I think the weather's finally breaking, and get out and do some practice in the yard. When the golf courses do open, it'll be time. You've already had some practice. You know how to chip. You know how to line up the ball. And it'll just make your game be more enjoyable. So again, I want to thank you. See you out at Veterans. Come see me. I'm a starter there. Come see Ed Palumba. And visit Franconia as well and see Chris and Ryan. And let's get out soon and let's get some recreation. Thank you.